Input devices. A keyboard is the primary text input device for your computer. Keyboards are used for manual input to a computer. After the emergence of Windows, its role became limited to dealing with text and for some commands only. The keyboard contains certain standard function keys such as the escape key, tab, cursor movement keys, shift and control keys. A mouse is a handheld input device that consists of a rubber ball on the bottom and one or more buttons on the top. As the mouse is moved, the ball rotates proportional to the distance moved. Potentiometers within the mouse sense the direction of motion and the distance traveled, which are reported to the host along with the state of the buttons. An optical mouse replaces the ball with a light-emitting diode and uses a special reflective mouse pad that consists of alternating reflective and absorptive horizontal and vertical stripes. Motion is sensed through transitions between reflective and absorptive areas. The optical mouse does not accumulate dirt as readily as the ball mouse and can be used in a vertical position or even in a weightless environment. The natural rotation of the wrist and elbow, however, do not match the straight horizontal and vertical stripes of the optical mouse pad, and so some familiarity is required by the user in order to use the device effectively. The digitizing tablet or bit pad is an input device that consists of a flat surface and a stylus. The tablet has an embedded two-dimensional mesh of wires that detects an induced current created by the stylus as it is moved about the tablet. The bit pad transmits horizontal vertical positions and the state of the buttons on the stylus either continuously or for an event such as a click, a key click, or a movement, depending on the control method. Bit pads are commonly used for entering data from maps, photographs, charts, or graphs. Two devices that are typically used for selecting objects are light pens and touch screens. A light pen does not actually produce light, but senses light from a video screen. An electron beam excites a phosphor coating on the back of the display surface. The phosphor glows and then dims as it returns to its natural state. Each individual spot is refreshed at a rate of 30 to 60 Hz so that a user perceives a continuous image. When a dim spot is refreshed, it becomes brighter, and this change in intensity signals the location of the beam at a particular time. If the light pen is positioned at a location where the phosphor is refreshed, then the position of the electron beam locates the position of the pen. Since the light pen detects intensity, it can only distinguish among illuminated areas. Dark areas of the screen all appear the same since there is no change in intensity over time. A touch screen comes in two forms, photonic and electrical. An illustration of the photonic version is shown in the figure. A matrix of beams covers the screen in the horizontal and vertical dimensions. If the beams are interrupted by a finger, for example, then the position is determined by the interrupted beams. In an alternative version of the touch screen, the display is covered with a touch-sensitive surface. The user must make contact with the screen in order to register a selection. A joystick indicates horizontal and vertical position by the distance a rod that protrudes from the base is moved. Joysticks are commonly used in video games and for indicating position in graphic systems. Potentiometers within the base of the joystick translate XY position information into voltages, which can then be encoded in binary for input to a digital system. In a spring-loaded joystick, the rod returns to the center position when released. If the rod can be rotated, then an additional dimension can be indicated, such as height. A microphone is another input device that can interpret dictation and also enable us to input sound like the keyboard is used for text. The digital camera records and stores photographic images in digital form that can be fed to a computer as the impressions are recorded or stored in the camera for later loading into a computer. The digital cameras are available for still as well as motion pictures of video. Output devices. A printer is an external hardware device responsible for taking computer data and generating a hard copy of that data. It's a device that accepts text and graphic output from a computer and transfers the information to paper, usually to standard size sheets of paper. Printing labels directly to DVDs and CD is possible too. Monitors, commonly known as visual display units, are the main output device of a computer. It is just like a television set and is measured diagonally from two opposing corners of the picture tube. The standard monitor size is 14 inches. Very large monitors can measure 21 inches diagonal or greater. It forms images from tiny dots called pixels that are arranged in a rectangular form. The sharpness of the image depends upon the number of pixels. An amplifier is an electronic device that increases the power of a signal. Amplifiers are used in audio equipment. An audio power amplifier is an electronic amplifier that amplifies low-power audio signals composed primarily of frequencies between 20 to 20,000 Hz, the human range of hearing, to a level suitable for driving loudspeakers. It is the final electronic stage in a typical audio playback chain. A speaker is an electroacoustic transducer, a device which converts an electrical audio signal into corresponding sound. Speakers with built-in amplifiers have become an integral part of the computers today and are important for any multimedia project.